Hello, my friends. I'm very excited to share this project with you today because it is so fantastic that it is an A2 size card, but the way I designed it is it's a drop-in, so you save money. So you're not paying for a full A2 size die, but you're getting an A2 size die. So what I like to say is you do a little bit of the work, but you save the money, which is even better, right? So you're having more fun and you're getting more value. Oh, it can't get better, right? Now this is the die set we're gonna focus on today. It's the Thank You drop-in set, and we kind of say these are the drop-ins 2.0 because they're just even more exciting than the other. Well, they're not more exciting than the other drop-ins, but they're just as fun. Now, what we're gonna create today in this video is this fun thank you card. And it's so beautiful, and it has some nice pattern paper on the inside. One of the things I do want to point out right away is this thank you, we're gonna layer that a couple. So it'll get a little thicker, which is more exciting because it just kind of adds more dimension. Now, let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is we always cut our base first, the card base, because that's the foundation of our card. And we wanna make sure that once we have the foundation, we can build up. Just like when you build a home, you start with the foundation and you build up. You wouldn't start with the windows, right? You would start with the foundation. So let's get some cardstock. So here's my cardstock, and we're using this pretty purple, which is fantastic. We're gonna lay that down, and then we're gonna get our die out. Now, this die set comes with 4 pieces. So I wanna show you all 4 of them. They look like this, and well, here, let me show you. This is what they're gonna look like when you get them packaged. So they're gonna all be nested in this, like this. So you can see how you have all of these pieces in there, but the magic happens when, remember, you do this much work. So let's see. We're gonna open this up, and first, to create our card base, you always use the largest dies, so that's gonna be the largest 2. We're gonna lay those down. Now, on this one, you're gonna have a little tiny bit of a speed bump, but that's okay. We're gonna lay this down, and we're gonna lay this one down, and it looks like on this paper we actually can skew it a little bit, so we won't have that speed bump. We're gonna lay this down. Now, this is very important, and I hope you can I'll bring it in so you can really see it. Now, remember how I said you have to do this much work? Well, here you go. This is the work you have to do. Of course, I'm using my magnetic platform and my extended base and extended cutting pads. I'm gonna lay this die down because this is gonna create my A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, standard card size. Now, this is the work that you have to do. See this inside line here? We want this to be a nice, long, straight line. That whole thing right there needs to be a nice, long, straight line. We don't want it to look like that because that's not one long straight line, right? We don't want it to be like this. No, that's not straight. You are gonna focus to make sure that is one nice, long, straight line. That's all you have to do. You're gonna lay your cutting pad on top. Now, when you lay your cutting pad on top, don't lay it down and then move it around because you will move your dies even though you're using the magnetic platform. So you wanna pivot it. You wanna put it in the machine and then lay it directly down. And now you're ready to go. So we're gonna run that through the machine, quick and easy, so fast. And then we get to play with more dies that are in the kit. Now the fun thing is this entire card that we're creating is only using dies from this kit. So even more value, right? So now we're gonna bring this forward. We're gonna pull this out, pull those out. We can move those off to the side because we're done with those for now. Well, move them over there. And now you're gonna have these 2 little tiny chads. You're gonna have one right here and one right here. Now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna pull, there you go, and pull here. Now, sometimes the chads are a little bit bigger than others. Sometimes you can't even see them. This one, I almost can see. That one, oh, I can't see at all, so good. If you do see it, you can use your scissors to snip it, or I just use my fingernail and I just kind of rub it down and it's gone. Now we have this nice dark score line there, so we're just going to put that down, and now I have my card base. How easy was that? A2 size card, but at a better price. Fantastic. Let's start decorating. So we're gonna put our foundation, our card foundation right there, and then we're gonna get this fun die. This is the next largest die in the set, and it is very intricate. So if you have a precision base plate, feel free to use that. Now, I'm gonna just use it on my regular machine, but I'm gonna run it through twice just to make sure I get a nice clean cut. It's up to you how you do that. But before we do that, we want to add some Sizzix adhesive to the back of our cardstock. And whoops, I'm, for some reason, not finding my white cardstock. Isn't that funny? Oh, here it is. It was hiding. It was over by my Sizzix adhesive. So here's my white cardstock. I'm going to take my Sizzix adhesive. I'm going to peel this off. Now, why am I using Sizzix adhesive? Because I don't want to have to see how intricate this die, whoops, how intricate that die is. Look, the white. Look at the white. I don't want to have to add glue to the back of that or tape runner or anything. I want it to be done for me. So I'm just going to lay this down. And now this entire piece of cardstock is now a sticker. How easy is that, right? So we're going to lay this down and we're going to lay our die down. And we're going to get a smaller cutting pad. The smaller the die, the smaller the cutting pad, as long as it's a little bit bigger than that original die. So we're going to run this through nice and crunchy. Do you hear all those crunches? That means it's working. Don't be afraid of those. And then we're just going to go back. So don't be afraid of the crunching. That's just the blade going through the cutting pad. It has to go somewhere because there's so much pressure in our machines. So that's just all that is. So now I have, look at this, and we're gonna save this because this is all still sticker. I have a special spot on my desk for those that have that adhesive on them. Now, look at this. It's all beautifully cut, and some of those hearts I'm gonna use for later. So I'm actually gonna pop those out because remember, they have the adhesive on the back. So I'm gonna save those hearts. And if I wasn't gonna use them for this project, I'd still put them in my storage envelope because you know what? I might use them the next time I use this card. So don't put them in your scrap pile, put them back in the envelope they came in. This die came in, well, it doesn't come with one, but put it in an envelope. And then that way you can have those hearts for later. So now I'm just gonna give it a couple flicks and then we're gonna add it to our card base. So I'm gonna pull this out. Now I didn't really focus and worry about any of those extra little tiny baby pieces. You know why? Because when I peel the Sizzix adhesive off, most of those little trashy pieces, those icky pieces are gonna come right off. So I don't have to worry about it. Now, if they don't, then you can really give it a flick and they'll just pop right out. So look at that. That's another reason why I like to run it through twice sometimes, because then I really get them through fast and I get a nice clean cut. So we're gonna lay that down. Look at how cute this is. And of course it layers perfectly on there, right? Because we do all the math for you. Now we're gonna add our thank you. Now, just to speed up life, I've already cut out 2. Of course, there's Sizzix adhesive on the back. So I already have 2 cut out, but I'm gonna cut out 3 total. That way, I can add that little extra height. Now, here's a note. I see that I have some little ickies in here still. Now, I like to say, a dirty die gives you dirty cuts. You want a clean die so you have clean cuts. So we're gonna clean that out real quick because we don't wanna have to worry about any dirty cuts. No, no, no. Now it's nice and clean. We're gonna lay that down and smaller die, smaller cutting pad. We're gonna lay that down and we're gonna run that through. Lots of crunching on this one because there's a lot of blade involved, but it gives you a nice clean cut. Okay, we're gonna pull that out. And now, look at this, we have 3. So the top one, this will be the top one. I'm going to ink it a little bit, just to add a little extra. And I want you to see the difference what inking versus non-inking does. So we're gonna lay that down. We're just gonna grab some coordinating ink. And we're just gonna add a little bit around the edges. Not much, but just a little bit, just to kind of spruce it up a little bit. And I always have scratch paper underneath me because I don't wanna get this on my secret weapon. And oh, and I'm getting it on my hands. Look at that. Now it's gonna be very decorated. Actually, look, this is a good tip. Look, I don't like how I must have had some on my hands and that's why we have pants on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use that as one of the other layers and we're gonna use one of the other ones to try to get a little cleaner. Oh, see it is, it's on my ink pad. That's where it's coming from. Okay, so we're gonna move over here and we're just gonna lightly do the edges. So I'm gonna touch it, there we go. And it might not look like much on camera, but I'm gonna show you the difference and you're gonna see just a slight difference that's gonna really add just a little extra yumminess is kind of what I like to say. It just adds so much more definition and it just, oh, when you see before and after, you kind of go, now I get it. So let's look at this. And I don't want to have any more of that on me. Okay. So here I'm going to show you, well, let's do it on the white so you can really see. So that is, oh, and I'm going to add a little bit more at the top. Now that I've moved it, I can see that I need a little bit more at the top. There we go. So now we have that one versus this one. Look at the difference. You can just kind of see this one just really accentuates it a little bit more. It's kind of like wearing a silhouetted dress instead of like a big potato sack. You know, it's just a difference. And I just seem to like that more because I feel like it gives me more to look at on the card. So I'm going to peel this one off. So this is just one of the naked ones. And we're going to add it to the one that I kind of messed up on a little. So we're just going to add this one to that. And I'm just doing this for extra height. Now, you could also use fun foam or something like that to heighten it up, to make it higher, just to add a little extra oomph to it. So now we're going to peel this one off. And see, you can see how wonderful this adhesive is using this, because now I don't have to try to get can you imagine trying to put your tape runner on this? Ay, 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 that would be awful. And it would take longer. Okay, so now we're just gonna add our finished one right on top. Spend an extra second on this to make sure that you get it exactly where you want it. There we go. And now it's like kind of popped up a little bit, which is even more fun and adds more interest. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna peel this off the back, just like that. And we're gonna add this to our card base. How easy peasy is this, right? I mean, it does not get easier than this. So now what we're gonna do is we need to add some extra hearts. Now I've already taken some little scrap pieces and I've added Sizzix adhesive to them. So we're gonna lay those down because I'm not gonna try to add my tape runner later. I think I have one, no, maybe I don't have one more. I thought I had one more, maybe I didn't. Okay, so we'll do that one, and actually let's add some Sizzix adhesive to this. So sometimes I just trim my my adhesive down a little, and we're just gonna lay that down. Save this extra. I'm gonna just trim that. Now, here's another tip. So save that, but see how this is extra right there? We don't wanna leave that exposed. If we leave that exposed, and here I see another one right there. Oh, that's just the tab, it's okay. But if we leave this exposed and run it through the machine, it'll stick to our cutting pad. So I could do two things. I could trim it off, or because this is just a little tiny piece of scrap, I'm just gonna fold it over and not worry about it. Now, what we're gonna do is we need to, oh, dirty die, so remember I wanna clean that out. Come on, baby. Oh, there it is. Now, I have all these fun hearts, so I wanna get some of those to fill up my card. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some there, and I'm just gonna add some there. And I'm not worrying too much about what I'm getting, and you know, because I just need some random hearts. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this one has to go there. You can do that if you want to, but look, that's just as easy for me just to go like this. And then we're gonna run that through. So we'll just get that and we'll run that through. I love that crunching sound because I know it's working. Okay, now, whoops. Now we're gonna have some fun hearts to decorate. Look at that, and it's nice that it just stayed right there because then I can just pick and choose what I want. So let's add some green, and we can just grab this, and it's gonna tell us kind of where they go, so that's even gonna be even more helpful. Now again, if you end up with extras, feel free to just leave them in the packaging for this die set so you have them handy next time. I've learned that if I put them in my scrap pile, I'll just lose them and they get ruined and it's just not worth it. So I always keep them in the envelope they came in. And we're gonna peel this off. And look at how fun. So now we have some hearts there. And let's add some hearts down here at the bottom. Oh, and oh, I know. We're gonna add this little heart right here in the center. Look how cute that is. These hearts are so fun because they're more whimsical, and I thought that it would be fun just to have something a little bit more, you know, like if you could still make this masculine, you know, you could still give this away and it wouldn't be like too like, you know, lovey-dovey. I didn't want it to be too lovey-dovey, even though it is hearts, because, you know, just in case. So get that one in there, and look how they just slipped right in there. It's like a little puzzle, and it's fun, and you just get to play and add them as you wish. And we'll just add one more, just so you can see, but look how fun that is. Oh my goodness, I could fill them all up. Whatever I had more, I could actually fill them up. But, oh, let's just do one more green, because I have it right here. So now oh, maybe not. Okay, I can't get that back off in time. Okay, so now let's work on some of the inside. We're gonna open this up, and you can see here, we have some fun little doodads in here. We have some just pattern paper. Oh, first though, we added just a backing. Now I want you to see why we added the backing. Here's the card before, cute, looks great, but if you add that little extra color, that pop of color behind it, look at the difference. Oh, here, let me get all this extra out of here. So look at the difference. So that's with the extra paper. That's without. It looks like it's dressed up even more, doesn't it? Just by adding a little bit extra paper, it just dresses it up even more. So before we put that in there, I'm going to take it a step further and dress it up even more. So we don't want our cardstock to be naked. Now, I'll be honest, you can over ink. I like to start slow. You can always add more if you want to, but I like to start slow just to make sure I don't get too much on there. Now, if you do, you could always flip it over, and don't feel like you've wasted a piece of cardstock. Just flip your cardstock over. If I didn't like that, I could flip it over and do this side. No one will ever know. No one's gonna take your card apart to see what you did, don't worry. So I'm just gonna add a little bit around the edges. Sometimes I go in circular motions, sometimes I go in stripes, whatever. Just get it on there, make it look pretty. And because this is brown, I don't want to get too much on there. I don't want brown to be the, woo, brown, but I want it to have extra. So now we're going to add some adhesive. And we're going to lay that down. Look at that, isn't that fantastic? Right there. And then we're going to add some pattern paper. Now I've already added these two pattern papers together. So we just have these cute little ones here. So let's just add these. And we're going to add that right in the center. So now we're just decorating the inside of our card. Now I'm going to add another piece of cardstock here. And I think I'm going to ink this just a little, just to add a little bit more. You can never have, and this already has sticky on it, so I'm going to just do it in the air. But you can see it just, look how much it just adds, just a little bit. So fun. Okay, there we go, I like that. Okay, so now we're gonna add this to that seam right there where those two met. So now that's covering that. And then we're gonna just add some cute little hearts in the corner here. Now I do have some leftover hearts, I think. Here's a, oh no, that's not a green one. Here's a blue one, phew, found a blue one at least. And it looks like I have a pink one over here. So let's add a little one there. And oh, you know what? Remember, I have those white ones. So let's grab a white one. So let's add a white one there. Now your card might look a little different than mine, or it might look exactly the same. Feel free to switch out pattern papers, switch out the colors, have fun with this, but look at how cute that is. Isn't that adorable? Now, just to finish this off, we're gonna add one more thing. We're gonna add a cute little bow. So we're just gonna lay this, grab that off there, and there's my sticky. And on ours, we just put it right there, and look at that, done. Can you believe how easy that was to create this fantastic thank you card? Now you have a card that you can give to anyone that just did a little something extra special for you. Thank you so much for joining me for this fun card, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.